2 shows down, 1 to go. We've picked the all Dan K and Lucas J Elite and Premier squads. There's just 1 more left to pick, and it's the big dogs. And we're about to let the big dogs eat. It's the NCDC, Dan K v. Lucas Jones. Let's start with our squads here at the forward position. First pick goes to Dan K. Dan K's top forward line, left wing, Noah Strawn of the Connecticut Junior Rangers. Centerman, Hunter McCoy of the Islanders Hockey Club, and right winger, it's Johnny Hockey Malera of the Boston Junior Bruins. I had to get a Junior Bruin on this squad to pair up with Mike Anderson, my head coach.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And, I had to kind of take the other Boston Junior Bruin. I know we're kind of looking to, we have to look at the whole team, but I took Sasha Parasenko on the right wing. He's going to be joined by Brad Ong Centerman from the Connecticut Junior Rangers. And a guy I really like watching on the left wing, Jack Brackett from the Boston Ravens.
Brackett.
Such an incredible player. I really like my chances with the top line. Second line here, left wing, Will Gavin from the Cyclones. Again, kind of an all-around player. I mean, the NCDC, you got to be, right? You got to be able to do it all, and I think a lot of these guys do, but Will Gavin does it better than a lot of them. He's going to be helped out by Aiden Kern in the center position, and then the right wing position, Dominic Bogzul, who I know we've given some love to this year, but I mean, really just needs to be said again how good of a player Bogzul has been.
I'm going to call my second forward line the top scorer line because I have the top scorer at centerman in the entire NCDC playoffs, and that's Max Kuznetsov, who I love. This is Slava's son. Hockey, you want to talk about hockey lineage? Yet again, Max Kuznetsov here. He's my centerman on the second line. To his right, how is he still available? Why is he still available? The top point getter of the regular season from the Jersey Hitmen, Philip Elgstam, and he is going to be difficult to deal with. And on his left is going to be Colin Sline, left winger from the Connecticut Junior Rangers. That's a potent scoring line right there. Third forward line, I want some guys who can get out in a run. I want this group to move. I want them, when they come over the boards, I want it to be constant pressure, end to end, never stops, and all 3 of these guys can do just that. I got Matthew Gervais to the left winger from the Syracuse Stars. I've got Robbie Griffin, the silkiest mitts this side of the Mississippi. Robbie Griffin is unbelievable. A huge goal in the title game 3. And then Billy Grant. Who buries in the back of the net? Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Who's buried in the back of the net? Billy Grant, a goal scorer for the Boston Bandits. Lucas, take it away.
Well, for my third and fourth line right now, we're going to start with the third line. On the left wing, Paul Breyer from the New Jersey Rockets. 21 goals, 21 assists in the season. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And he's going to be great on the third line. We always talk about how important third line scoring is. He's going to bring the Thunder, and I think bringing the Lightning is going to be Zach Mazur from the center position and Trent DiNuccio on the right wing. DiNuccio. It rolls off the tongue, and I think on that third line, I think this might be my penalty kill line. I think this is where it happens.
I like that. Okay, yeah. Let's see the fourth line.
Now, the fourth line, left wing, I've got Mickey Burns from the Hitmen. And this, again, a lot of you, that name should be familiar to the NK Show fans because we've talked on the broadcast. We're highlighting him. It feels like during the weeks, when we do the show, we're highlighting him. Then I'm going to the Cyclones. I'm getting one of Mr. Flanagan's guys there, and Lucas Uhler.
That's a great pick.
I really like this guy. Great name. Has the alternate spelling of my name. I think the cooler spelling of my name.
Yeah, you should have gone with the K.
Should have gone with the K. I'll talk to my mom about that. Maybe we can see if we can go back and get that changed. And on the right wing, finalizing things for me is Matt Allen. Again, this Boston Junior Bruins team, talent top to bottom. You could pick this entire team and you'd be happy with it.
Left winger Remy Parker, centerman Antoine Belial, both of the Jersey Hitmen. A little confidence there between the 2 of them. And to the right, it's a man who's bombing them home all day. It's Zach Raybaum, who is somehow still available for my fourth line.
I am here now with Alex Thomas of the Boston Junior Bruins. Alex, congrats on being my GM and broadcaster for this event, and thanks for joining me. Alex, I really look to you as my expert on all things NCDC. Can you tell me what kinds of players or specific player talents you look for in building a great team?
It depends, right? I mean, how you want to classify a great team. Do you want to classify it by record? Do you want to classify it by offense? How many goals they score? How many goals defensively they give up? For me, a great team, I think, is made up of a couple of different things. One, you need leaders in your team. I mean, look at the best teams in the NCDC this year. They were loaded with veteran leaders, guys that have been there, guys that have done that. You look at let's look at the two teams that are in the championship, Junior Bruins and Junior Rangers. I mean, they were two teams that were loaded with 200-foot players, and for me, that's the specific talent that I look for in a great team. Guys that aren't just willing to create offense, but guys that are also willing to go back and play defense. So, for me, guys, that is probably the biggest thing in terms of making up a great team. I want guys that are willing to take that extra step defensively, willing to get back, willing to back check. For me, it's the guys that can play a 200-foot game. And I think you'll notice over the course of a season, the teams that are willing to do that usually end up at the top of the standings, and they're usually the teams playing deepest into the playoff.
You've seen quite a few NCDC players come through your building. How would you rate the overall strength of the NCDC as a league?
It's funny, when I started in 2016-17, the quality of the league was pretty good then, but it was a league that was very top heavy. I mean, you had a couple of teams that were juggernauts. The Islanders Hockey Club sticks out, Jersey, the Bruins, those typical teams that were juggernauts. You had some teams at the bottom when the top tier was still the Premier League that, not that they weren't competitive, but it was just that those teams, they weren't on the same level, and you could tell. But this year, one of the common themes of the NCDC in its second season was the parity, and you saw an 8 seed defeat a 1, and then go and push the 2 seed all the way to a game 3 in the second round series. So parity was a big thing this year. I mean, you look throughout the league, all the different commits to the NCAA level. Robbie Griffin of the Junior Bruins was listed on Central Scouting's final North American list heading into the draft. So for me, the NCDC just continues to get better. As a league, the strength of it continues to grow. You've seen a lot of players that otherwise would have went to other leagues. They're sticking around now playing in this league. And, as this league expands and continues to grow, the quality of it's only going to get better. And for me, the strength, from the 3 seasons I've been in there, it's almost night and day. I mean, you have almost every team is competitive now. I think all the teams were competitive this past season, and you've got better players in now. So for me, the league it's strong, and it's continuing to get strong, and I think as time goes along, it's only going to get stronger.
As my GM now, as a new GM, how does one build a long-term successful franchise, and how do I make my all-Dan K team the better team than Lucas is each and every year?
Culture is the biggest thing for me at this level on how to build a long-term successful franchise. I mean, the most important thing a GM can do is put the right head coach in position. You want a guy behind the bench who's a leader, somebody that can help these young men on and off the ice as they try and continue their careers, and puts them in the best position to succeed both on and off the ice. You want that head coach. You want a style that I think breeds two-way play. And like I said earlier, with what makes up a great team, it's those groups that not only can they contribute offensively, but they're willing to get back check, penalty kill, block shots. You need that to be successful. I mean, look at Connecticut. Look at the Junior Bruins. That's what those two teams did, and they ended up in the championship this past year. The Jersey Hitmen did that. The Islanders Hockey Club really exemplified what I'm talking about throughout this season. And you want those veteran leaders in the locker room, too, those Noah Strawn-type players, because they, through osmosis, really give those young players the lessons that they need, and then it's a culture. And you have new leadership recycling through every year. So for me, the biggest thing to building long-term success is a culture, and you have to have the right head coach and system in order to do that.
I had an equally interesting conversation with my head coach, Bill Flanagan.
Here with Coach Bill Flanagan of the Northern Cyclones. Coach, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, anytime I get to talk to two celebrities like you guys, I'm all in. So.
Well, thank you, Coach. And it's I think especially important that I get a chance to talk to you today because we got a theoretical hockey game to win. I'm sick, absolutely sick of losing to Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here to help. I certainly didn't win what we wanted to win, so let's try to win this one. So.
Oh, definitely. Let's kind of start off with the team I'm trying to put together here. I'm trying to put together a physical team that skates hard, skates fast, and wins those board battles. And that's what I love to see out there. So let me ask you, how do you put together a team? What's your focus when you're trying to cobble together those lines and get some players on the ice?
Well, yeah, I mean, that you just kind of described what I've been doing for the last 26 years. So, the experience and all the trials and tribulations that I've gone through as a coach, and, what I've taken from that and try to make, a team from year to year. what I look for is, I like speed, a speed guy. I want guys to be able to skate. I think that's the first thing that catches my eye when I'm out recruiting, foot speed. And so, once that's built, I like guys that compete, right? I mean, competing is, and it's easy to say the word compete, but actually go into a battle and the first effort and then the second effort. And then if the second effort doesn't work out, where is he at, in terms of, is he still battling, and that's what I talk about compete. So, the speed and the compete are the two main factors for me. And then, the way we like to go, we like to transition quickly. My teams have always been, we try to own the neutral zone. We try to make plays in the neutral zone. We try to put, other teams on their toes, by making plays in those small areas. So, so that's kind of, what I look for, and that's kind of how we play. And, it's been successful. And it's, when we're going, it's a good brand. It's fun to watch.
See, I knew I made the right call with the head coach. That sounds exactly like the speech I give to Dan every broadcast.
Yeah. It's good, though. It's the right speech. That's 26 years talking, so that's got to be something behind it. So.
And I'm only 28, so that means I'm ahead of the curve right now.
Yeah, you are, Lucas. You are. Funny.
So let's talk about the recruiting process. We're getting into the off season now. How does a head coach fit into that recruiting process? What might people not know about the off season?
Well, I have a great staff. First off, my staff, we have a program that goes all the way down to U14s. So, at the end of the day, my whole staff's involved in the whole building of every team, and the NCDC team included. Organizational assets are primary. So kids are in our program. We want to see if they have an opportunity to play in the NCDC team. And those are the 15s and the 16s and the 18s, and the premier guys in our junior program. So, we internally look first. We work together to see if those players are ready, and then after we assess that, we're all out on the road. We're all contacting players. We're looking everywhere because we know that obviously it's very competitive. There are a lot of leagues. There are a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opinions, right or wrong. And at the end of the day, we've got to be diligent in what we do. And I think I have a staff that just love the game, love doing what they do, and they're successful at doing it because, they come to work every day and they just put a good effort in. So, but as far as specifically what we're looking for, like I just said, we're looking for guys that can skate. We're looking for guys that compete. And at the end of the day, we're looking for good kids. I know it's easier said than done. I know we all look for good kids, but in order to make it in my program, character is everything, because at the end of the day, we're like a family at the Cyclones. And you're part of a bigger group than yourself. So you have to be a good person. You have to, you have to do the right things. If you don't do the right things, you don't last very long. I'd say the average is probably somewhere around 10 days. That's kind of what we've been going by the last 15 years that we've been, in the junior business. So, yeah.
Now let's move to the NCDC. There's a lot of parity in the league this year. You had, 5 or 6 teams that were separated by only 3, 4, 5 points. So talk to the level of parity in the league this year and just the overall talent that's present in the NCDC from year to year.
Well, first off, there is a lot of talent in the league. I couldn't be happier with year 2 of what's transpiring. I think that people always want to have some instant success and they want everything to be perfect right away. And the reason I say this is because there was some negativity a little bit in terms of the NCDC from the outside. But at the end of the day is in year 2, in my opinion, we surpassed, we exceeded. And I think, again, where we're headed is exciting because we have the right player development model. And that model is practice, 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 games, practice, practice, showcases, exposure. And at the end of the day, that model is going to work. So I'm ecstatic about the future of that. So, but and specifically why this year, I think all the guys did a great job recruiting. I think all the coaches and all the organizations put the effort in. And every game was good. Every game that we played in was competitive. I never walked into a weekend going, geez, this is going to be an offer. This is going to be a good 4-point weekend for us. Never said that all year, no matter who we were playing. I think that's a testament to all the coaches in the other organizations in the league. I look forward to that being the standard, because if you can have your best team, your last place team be that competitive, you have a pretty good thing going. And I think we have a pretty good thing going. So
Definitely. I think it definitely bodes well for the product next year. And Coach, thank you for joining me today. I wish that we were playing a real game. I wish we could all hit the ice and coach this phenomenal team that we've all put together.
Yeah.
Because this would be so much fun.
Thanks, Lucas. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for selecting me. It means a lot, man.
We move on to the D pairs. Lucas, you get first pick here, first nab.
Well, first I'm going to get Luke Rowe, because I need Luke Rowe on my team.
I want to leave.
An absolute howitzer from the blue line. Such a fundamentally sound player, big body, not afraid to get in low and mix it up. Oh, you're not going to be happy about this.
Don't you do it. You're not even. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
It is time to get the red blanket and wave it around and say, Ole, Ole, Ole. Ole Anderson is my other defenseman on that top line. Dan, I think it's safe to say that I've got the two best defensemen in the NCDC on my top line. How does that make you feel?
Let's move to my defenseman, because guess what? You missed somebody. You missed a couple somebodies. I get the next 4, and I'm going to come back strong here with a man who is cooler, much better, and much more calm, cool, and collected than Cardi B. It's Artie B. Artie Borshov of the Northern Cyclones. And hey, you're going to have head coach Bill Flanagan, but I'm going to have his biggest defensive weapon, his biggest power play weapon, his leader, Artie Borshov. Come on over to the Dan Case side and get me a W. A little George there. Then to his right is going to be Tanner Palisic of the Jersey Hitmen. Just 2 D1 guys next to each other, no big deal. Then we move to the second line. Let's go get Brett Callahan. How about that? Another D1 guy. And let's put him next to all-star Devin Kasperick of the Pal Junior Islanders, and that's it. Game over. I win.
Yeah, I mean, you might win. You might, but I think after I get my other defenseman out, I might have a better shot, because I've got Lyndon, Alger, and Kabori Dunn that are going to be going a little side-by-side, a little back-to-back, a little, side here, a little high-low game there. These are guys that are very, very utility defensemen. I really like the way they play the game of hockey, and I think they play it well together. Last but certainly not least, a little bit more of an offensive defensive guy, Nick Parody.
Okay.
Who I think needs a little bit of placement on this team, because you can't go
give
all
me some
defense.
parity.
Yeah, give me a little parity on both ends of the spectrum there. You can't just be a defensive guy as much as you'd like to. You still have to score at least one goal.
Yep.
So I've got Nick Parody to help me with that, and helping him is going to be the freight train.
Oh, big dude. Big dude. A wagon.
Yeah.
You
talk about a guy being a house. Talk about a guy so large that his gravitational pull grabs several houses and then he brings them to the rink. That's Sebastian Yanda. I have seen him just absolutely steamroll through teams. You talk about hitting guys into the wall. How about hitting guys into the wall, through the wall, out the rink, and back to the state they came from?
I agree. This guy's great. My final D pair, I have to match your size. That's honestly what I thought about with this pick. I have to match your size, and that's why I went with Bryce DeFazio here. Love this guy. He's traded over to the Northern Cyclones, and I'm just stealing away defensemen from Bill Flanagan, because that ruins your system here. If we were playing this game for real, I'm trying to take those D-men from a guy who plays a great defensive-minded system, and I've got DeFazio and Artie B on this side. And to the left here, my final D-man, it's going to be Joe Petrozella of the Boston Bandits. I like this pick. I feel comfortable about him, and I actually asked Lucas about him, and he told me he was on his list of go-tos, so I stole him away when I saw the chance was there. Great season for Petrozella of the Boston Bandits. Let's pick our final skaters here. Lucas, I love to use this the same way I used it in the premiere. Derek Trudeau, my beauty of the year. And this is a guy that I picked as my extra skater that has been the unsung. I mean, the fact that he hasn't been seen the way this, you have to watch this guy play. There is so much to his game. There's so much ability. You give him the puck in the corner, he can get that thing out in front of the net, unabated, unbothered. You can't get him off his skates. It's Brian Vandelander of the Pal Junior Islanders. This guy is real good. Really good, folks. Scouts watching at home. Brian Vandelander's a guy. Go back and watch the tape of the Pal Junior Islanders. This is a must-see kid.
Yeah, no, he's an absolutely great skater, and I kind of have to go to a similarly skilled skater in Luke House in the New Jersey Rockets. He's a 2006-2 190. He's got just points out the wazoo.
Yep.
You know, and he's at .78, a little under 1 point a game. Really good vision. I've done a couple of Rockets broadcasts this season, and he's a guy who's just finding space. You know, he knows where to go, knows where to be. I've seen him make some passes that you shouldn't have even seen, let alone made. And I think that kind of versatility deserves a spot on this team.
It's a great pick. Let's get to the netminders. Dan K picks first. Easiest pick of my life. Yaniv Paris, Boston Junior Bruins. He did it all. I've talked about him a million times. He's going to Quinnipiac, and he will stop everything that moves. I'll never give up a goal you've already lost because you can't score on.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest pick of all time. It might be Parrots over there, but I've got some similarly easy picks, and if you want to pick one of the guys in the championship game, I might as well pick the other guy in the championship game, and Colin Lancaster, man's royalty over there, absolutely stood on his head in goal, in net for those 3 games. What an incredible guy. I mean, he just works so hard. He's 6 skater, he's position guy, he's post to post, he does it all. He's going to be followed out by Mr. Matt Pasquale from the New Hampshire Monarchs. The Monarchs, they've got a system there. They've just moving guys up from the bottom all the way up to the NCDC. Every one of their teams is so skilled. Great to have Pasquale on the team.
Great 2 picks there. Let me get my last 2 goaltenders in. Number 1 for me is going to be a guy who I've waxed poetic on all year long. He faced a ton of shots with IHC. Kalle Anderson, the Swedish netminder, who really is eerily similar to a Henrik Lundqvist type of play. Keeps his butt in the back of the net, really stays close to the line there, and makes you beat him. You're going to have to beat him high, Golden Glove side, and that's tough to do. Kalle Anderson's going to be joined by a guy who changed the season, changed the year for the Bandits. One of the best netminders in the league, really unsung hero, Connor McAnanama. I never know how many Annas to put in the Anima, but it's Connor McAnanama. The specs, man, this guy gets it done.
Yeah, those are great picks, too, and what a phenomenal name once you get it down. McAnanama.
McAnanama.
It's tough. It took me a while the first time we actually did a broadcast for him.
I don't have that ability to say names correctly, and I got this one, McAnanama.
Well, this last name is going to be easy for me to say because it's a name I've said quite a bit, and it's Evan Zari for the Hitmen. I mean, he came in, he filled some big shoes, right, and he took that team. I mean, you talk about goaltenders taking their team. It made the Hitmen even better, if that makes sense. If you can believe that, you know, a guy coming to the Hitmen that makes them better, but he managed to do it. What a great season he had.
Great season, and that's everybody except for our coach for Lucas. You haven't announced, I mean, sorry, your GM for Lucas. GM, we each have a GM, we each have a broadcaster. Lucas, who's your GM?
Well, he's a guy that I've talked hockey with all season long. He's got a great mind for the sport. He's been teaching me a few things. We went over this roster together. He gave me some backups. He messed with my guys a little bit, gave him access to the spreadsheet.
Did you interview Owen Wilson?
Didn't interview Owen Wilson.
Oh.
I thought you were disappointed, yeah.
I thought you were talking to him about hockey a lot.
No, not at all.
Oh.
I was talking to Jim Henkel about hockey.
Oh, that
He's going to be my GM. Yeah, I'm really excited to have Mr. Henkel on board. And like I said, we talked it through. We got into the spreadsheet, really dived into the nitty gritty. What a fascinating conversation. You know, great guy to talk hockey with.
As I say, I like the bottom line here. I pay attention to the bottom line when I run a team, when I create a team. And my GM also going to be my broadcaster. And it's going to be a guy who's going to have free will to trade anybody he needs on this team at any time. He's going to have the free will to make things happen, change up lines. He's going to be working hand in hand with a guy he's very comfortable with. Because it's Alex Thomas is not only the broadcaster for the All Dan K team, he's also the GM because this guy's a future in the front office if he wants it, or he has a future on Nesson doing Boston Bruins home games play-by-play if he wants it. This is a grade A dude, Alex Thomas. If you haven't checked him out yet, go follow him, AlexThomas14 at Twitter. Great Twitter follow.
And my broadcaster is Tommy Smith, real old school guy. Love the way he calls a game of hockey. He is a veteran, man. He is, when you're in the beginning of the movie, when you climb the mountain to go talk to like the wise veteran to find advice, Tommy Smith is at the top of that hockey mountain.
What a guy too. Really cool dude. Really fun. Lucas, that's it. We've picked our teams. We've picked our squads. You've seen them at home. Let us know what you think. And Lucas, let us know what you think with your parting words.
Hey Dan, it's Lucas from the future. Just let you know your team doesn't have a shot. Sometimes you're right, but this time you're wrong.
Well, I don't even know how to follow that up. When Dan K's on the mic, I guess it's always hockey night. That's it, folks. We did it. NCDC, all Dan K versus all Lucas J. Dan K wins again.